And we're back now with more from our panel. And Bob Shrum, I want to start with you in Los Angeles. From a strategic perspective, which battleground states does Paul Ryan help Mitt Romney with the most? For example, can he help him with his own home state, Wisconsin?
I think he does help in Wisconsin. I still think there's a good chance the president will carry it, but he's got some real play there. People obviously know him there, and I think there'll be home state pride. I think he actually does hurt in Florida. I think he does hurt in Pennsylvania. I think conceivably he does hurt in Ohio. Because look, at the end of the day, you can't have it both ways. You can't say, we want to have a debate about big substantive issues. And by the way, we don't want to discuss the details, because the details are where you get to those big substantive issues. I think the Obama campaign, after Romney put Ryan on the ticket, is going to put Ryan on television for tens of thousands of rating points. And we're going to hear about a whole set of these provisions that he's proposed, whether or not it's in terms of the economy, in terms of immigration, or in terms of women's health. So I think that this is not a pick that's guaranteed to do very well in these battleground states. I agree with Roger. This was a base pick. There was a lot of dissatisfaction with Romney. The grumbling was beginning in the Republican Party. Usually the Democrats are the ones on the sidelines wringing their hands. So he's united the party, much, by the way, as McCain did with the Palin pick. But we'll have to see what the long-term impact of it is.
You know, Michael, Bob mentioned women's health. We've had a series of polls here at CBS News recently looking at battleground states. And in those states, Mitt Romney is trailing often by double digits among women. What does this pick mean for those numbers when you look at Paul Ryan's record on issues like abortion, where he has come out very strongly in favor of anti-abortion rights? Can they make up any ground among women with someone like Paul Ryan as the number two?
Well, he's a strong Catholic. He brings a certain perspective to this issue. I don't think that's necessarily a drawback. He's won in a pretty evenly divided district among Democrats and Republicans in a way that Kemp did in Buffalo, by having a very winning personality, by leading with conviction, not calculation. I think that some of that will carry here. I mean, he is he's a very likable conviction politician. The question is whether you think that that's toxic in American politics. In fact, I don't think it is toxic.
I don't think that's toxic in American politics, and I think that any pick for a vice presidential candidate was going to have the same view on abortion as the majority of the Republican Party, and I think that is what it is. I have to disagree with the notion that Romney needed to make a base pick. I don't think so. I think the base is so motivated to get rid of Barack Obama and Obamacare and everything else that they were going to turn out, and they might be holding their noses, but they were going to go for Romney. And that's where I think maybe Romney needed to shake things up with a vice presidential candidate, but I'm not sure this way. If the Bain capital attacks, if the paying little in taxes attacks were taking a toll, why do you pick a guy whose tax plan is actually nicer to rich people than Mitt Romney's? I mean, his original tax plan had zero taxes on investment income, capital gains, and dividends.
David, isn't that going to be a huge messaging problem? We're in a weak economy, and Paul Ryan wants to slash taxes for the wealthy even more than Mitt Romney?
Look, it wouldn't be a problem if there were a convincing and credible explanation of how lowering these taxes would translate into economic growth and jobs. That's the issue, economic growth and jobs.
And we don't have a lot of proof that happens.
What we've got here is a fiscal message. This is going to be an election about the government's finances in a year when people want the election to be about their finances. It's the tragedy of this, because the president does not deserve re-election on his economic record, is Republicans are cooperating with the president in changing the subject. They are talking about what Republicans want, which is the future of the American welfare state, a very important question and on which the Republicans are right. But this is not the time. The time now is to talk about this economic emergency, and that about household debt, about job creation. That's where Republicans needed to be.
Roger, I have 20 seconds. I'm going to give you the last word.
Well, the fact is we've been in economic downturn since the day Barack Obama was elected, and he's won in all the polls so far. The question is, if it's really about the economic turmoil in America, why isn't Mitt Romney doing better? And I doubt that Paul Ryan is going to give him any one of the 3 states he needs, which is Florida, Ohio, and Virginia.
Great. Thank you so much to our entire panel.